my god, Kaldor, things are about to get real here at the GSL Code A. We have Golden, we have Choya, we have a guinea pig commando, we've got a Ganji, man. This is absolutely insane.
I'm getting scared here. What did they put in your coffee?
Dude, I didn't even mention we have a wolf, we have a Kaldor. Wow.
Guys, until a minute ago, this guy was like really quiet, and then suddenly the cast starts. I'm like, whoa!
I'm actually just filled with energy right now. Partially
I can
because
tell.
of the coffee, all right, and partially because of the players. I'd say it's about a 30-70 ratio. 30% coffee, 70% of the players we have here today. I am super excited. I mean, we had an earlier cast today.
Yep.
It was mediocre. The games are okay. The production wasn't, it's just that secondary stream, whatever. But now everything is going down, man. Things are really heating up, and I'm on fire, dude. I'm ready.
And while you're on fire, you're the last person in the lobby, so you might just leave it because I think we have a different map.
All right.
And the last week matches are on the screen right now. Gumio winning against Dreamer. I can go through the rest of them because it disappeared in a flash.
Here are the other parts of those. I got to get off a plane from DreamHack to come and cast with you. 2-1, 2-1, 2-0, 2-0. I'm not going to read all those. You guys can see the screen. And we saw these matches earlier today. Zoshin, of course, advancing, as well as Creator, Holt, and Killer.
Exactly, and now we have the next group that should pop on the screen very soon. Oh, we have an interview with the winners
컴플렉시티 신상호입니다. 오늘 48강 경기를 하게 되었는데요. 생각보다 너무 쉽게 이겼고 그 쉽게 이긴 이유는 연습을 많이 했기 때문이라고 생각합니다. 목표는 콘테스트에 올라가는 거고 앞으로 연습을 많이 해서 좋은 모습 보여드릴 테니 많은 응원 부탁드립니다.
안녕하세요. TSL 팀 주장을 맡고 있는 최성훈입니다. 제가 요새 코드 S 경기도 그렇고 A 경기도 그렇고 계속 연달아 많이 지는 바람에 오늘 경기도 또 지지 않을까 걱정을 많이 했었는데 이번에는 다행히도 잘 풀린 것 같아서 다행이에요. 앞으로도 더 좋은 모습 보여드려서 다시 코드 S 복귀하고 우승까지 할 수 있는 모습 보여드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Alright, throwing it out there. He wants to get back into Code S and he wants to be the champion.
Yeah, he wants to be a champion. He's got so many championships under his belt that it would be crazy if he lost the match. He was pretty close to losing it, though, for sure.
There were a few moments where I was really worried.
Yeah.
Well, guys, today's games, the first one is going to be Keen against Golden. We are starting with the Zerg versus Terran, but we head into the game between Puzzle and True.
Then we have Ganji up against the Guinea Pig Commando. And he's going to be, of course, followed up by Happy and Choya. And I just love the ID Guinea Pig Commando. I know he's dropped out of MVP. He's using the ID just Guinea Pig now. But listen, alright, he used to use the ID Guinea Pig Commando. And that's what we're going to call him today. At least that's what I'm going to call him. Because he's the Guinea Pig Commando. Alright, we have Keen against Golden up here first. Golden, a player who used to be on Slayers. He was teamless for a while. He was on FOU even before that. He's bounced around. He's been a player in Korea really well known. He basically had like a cult following in the foreign scene. And, when he was on Slayers, he never really posted very many results. But now he's joined the Team White. He's qualified for Code A, and he's got a top opponent.
I think he was one of the first players that Grubby used for his showmatch series when he came to Korea, and Grubby lost 3-0 against him.
He also beat Desro 3-0 in the cast.
So Protoss players apparently have a hard time against Golden.
Especially foreigner ones.
Yeah, but today we have him up against the Korean Terran and Entombed Valley. It's going to be the first map today. And Golden is looking pretty confident. He won the Code A qualifier. It was really nice. Watched the finals and a few of his games before. He's a really nice guy, but so is Keen. And he is looking pretty strong lately. So we are heading...
He's got a brand new shirt. Check that out. It's got the crease on the sleeve and everything, man. He's wearing a brand new shirt. He is ready.
And he better be, because this is not going to be easy. Golden against Keen, Terran versus coming up here at the GSL Code A with Calvin Wolf. And here we go to the top right. We have in the red color our player for MVP. It is Commander
MVP Keen.
That's right, Commander Keen in the red. Did you play that game?
No. I just heard people say that a lot. I don't know.
We have to have a serious talk, Wolf. To the bottom left, we have his opponent. In the blue, our Zerg. Team Light it is.
Light quarter.
This is Golden, and Golden has a pretty interesting history in his recent games against Terran. He did very, very well at the MLG Winter Championship. He was able to defeat Rain and also was able to beat Thorzane with 2-1. So against Terran, he seems to be pretty confident. Whereas Keen, on the other hand, he has decent results against Zerg as well. Overall, a win ratio of 51% with, well, we have a sample size of 50 games. And he was just able to defeat Symbol in the MSI Pro Cup, but lost to Violet in the semifinals with 2-0. So let's see what's going to happen today.
Yeah, this should be really interesting to see. It's very unfortunate Golden has such a tough opponent. And it's something we talked about earlier today. It's just that the round of 48 for Code is no longer good player versus mediocre player, good player versus bad player. Like,
no, it's insane.
But now it's just like, well, sucks, guys. One of these guys is going to have to go home. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, it's really, really insane. If you just look at the first round of Code A this season, it is so hard. And, well, guess what? It's gonna get much harder because in the future we have so many players who will participate in the next Code A qualifier. And if you see that a player like Hyun is doing so well at DreamHack and he is in Code B right now attempting to get into Code A, just think about that. If he qualifies, the next season will be much harder, especially in the round of 48, where players just fight to survive.
Yeah, it is so tough. You can see the win rates here. Not too telling, but 11-9, 7-7, pretty even. And I'm thinking, you know, on this particular map, Keen is probably going to play for the longer game against Golden. On the first map, it's a decent map against Zerg. You can take your third base fairly easily. And I think that Keen will basically test his opponent's macro ability here. I'm sure they've played together several times on the ladder. Golden is quite well known in Korea, and I'm sure that he wants to just test the waters here against this Zerg player on this first map. And Toon Valley is a great map to start on if you're a Terran.
And Toon Valley is definitely a map that I have not seen too many Terran versus Zergs, if I just think about it. The map has been around for as long as other maps, like, for example, Cloud Kingdom, but just the matches, all these matches that we had on Cloud Kingdom were tons of them, whereas on Entombed Valley you usually see a Protoss versus Zerg, especially in the GSTL, because it's a very good Protoss map and Protoss players will choose it against Zerg players. We have seen a couple of games in ZVT, but not all that many. But it works a little bit the same as for a Protoss player. You can take a very easy third base, you can defend against it quite well, and as soon as you take a fourth base, you can just establish a planetary fortress, and then you suddenly are in a position where you can defend it very easily against Zerg attacks, because you have a planetary, there are only very small points where the Zerg player can actually attack, and if he fights, then he has to fight not only against your army, but against the planetary as well. So a very good map for Terran here, and Golden, well, let's see what he's going to do. So far he doesn't take gas and is going for Queens, so we might probably see 4 Queens.
Yeah, definitely will see 4 Queens in my opinion as well.
Oh, he already builds the third and the fourth.
He's already got the third and fourth coming out here, and no gases, 8 drones on the way. He is basically cutting all the corners off, making a circle, and Keen makes a bunker in a really interesting place. He's actually placed it behind his mineral line, it is natural. It's a very defensible location. He hasn't been able to double check to see if his opponent's taking gas, how many queens he has just yet. And look at this, Golden making a macro hatchery in his main base before taking his gases. So I like this choice because on this map, taking the third base just out there in the open is way too far away. It's way too hard to defend. If you're droning up, you can't be killing those rocks. You don't have these Zerlings out to kill them with. So it's absolutely, it makes perfect sense.
What we see by Lenog on this map quite often is a Zergling Baneling attack in the mid-game, in the early mid-game, and he just tries to make use of this huge choke point that leads into the natural expansion of the Terran player. And it works very, very well. I don't think that we will see the exact same strategy by Golden, but it's something that Zerg players have done in the past, just trying to put a lot of aggression onto the Terran, because they know when it comes to the late game, it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah. It absolutely will be. Now, one thing that Keen has done here with his Hellions, he knows he can't really push up that ramp. He may try here, but he doesn't necessarily have to. He's going to push at these tumors at the front a little bit. He will not get any of them. But he's checked to see that third base is there. He sees it's not. And so he may, as a result, play a little bit more defensive. He's going to get a Cloak Banshee out right away. This is something we see very, very often One Racks expand into Cloak Banshee follow-up with the Reactor Hellions coming out. This is something we see so much right now in Korea, and in foreign events it's getting more popular as well. It's such a great way to harass your opponent, get more scouting information. This is a very valuable scan. He knew the creep tumors were stacked up, so he knew that would be a good scan for him. He knew he would get all three of them no matter what. A good scan.
A very good scan indeed. So he makes sure that there are no active creep tumors right now. Golden replaces them on the high ground. Another Hellion tries to sneak in, but the defense for Golden is looking really strong here. He's blocking the choke with 2 evolution chambers. He has a spine crawler in position as well.
Oh,
He's
look at this.
getting another one.
He knows he's going to get these tumors because they're so next to that Evo chamber. That's why he's attacking the chamber there to get those. He's actually playing so smartly right now with his Hellions. I'm really impressed. Not going to stop the pressure, going to damage this spine crawler. Doesn't even take a hit from it.
Speed is finally done, and +1/+1 being started. He does not have any detection at this point, but we already have Blair, so he will be able to get an Overseer as soon as he needs one.
Yeah, he's also got the Infestation put on the way. Banshee Cloak was not cancelled, but he's just sitting with the Banshee on top of the Watchtower right now. Looks like he's waiting for the second one. It's not as if he's going to do a big push with this, though. It looks like he's just going to use the Banshees to pick off what units he can, force some Spore Crawlers, force an Overseer.
With all those queens, Golden is in a position where he can defend against the Banshees anyways. He has 4 of them, so that won't be a problem at all. He's trying to push the creep out a little bit further, and now the Banshee start to join here, but he starts the Overseer right away. Lost the Spine Crawler. Oh, actually he didn't.
Yeah, he actually did not lose that Spine Crawler. Surprising control by Keen. He's making some interesting decisions here. Going for the Queens now with the Banshees, the Hellions distracting, doing some extra damage. I'm not sure how cost efficient this is really going to be for Keen, though, as he's starting to lose a few of his Hellions, and his opponent, of course, still has extra Queens.
This doesn't really work out all that well for Keen to this point. We have the Banshees trying to get into a position where they can at least attack the Extractor or the drones in there, but the Queens are ready once again.
Oh, he loses a Banshee!
The first Banshee is down, and now the last one retreats. He has to be very careful here.
This is a bad engagement for Keen. He wasn't really able to accomplish that much. He killed 1 queen, but when your opponent has extra queens laying around anyways, it's not too important.
And just look at the upgrades. +1/+1 is done. He started +2/+2 immediately. Golden, that is. He takes the 3rd base now. He defended well. He has the drone count that he needs. He's on 74. Look at his creep spread. He's spreading the creep to his left like a maniac, and in the middle we already have a lot of active creep tumors. As soon as those Hellions are done, he can just spread the creep towards his opponent's
this
base.
Is actually some of the best creep spread I've ever seen. And this Banshee is going to come into the 3rd base now. Scouts it, is going to take out a few drones, but the drone count, Caldor, is up to 77. So a few drone kills here is not going to be too big of a deal for Golden. He is going to be able to harass a little bit. I mean, it's nice that he's making use of that 2nd Banshee, but he's got to make sure not to lose it this time. And, well, he's not making much sure of that right now. There he goes.
Attacks the Extractor.
Yeah, he's making use of it in what ways he can.
Yeah, so there are actually a few Infestors out now. He could use the Fungals.
Yeah, this is the scary part because Keen is moving out with a very small army right now, and he could very well get caught by some Fungals and lose his entirety of his army, and then the entire game will be in control of Golden at this point. That Extractor will fall.
Yeah, this Banshee is actually taking down the Extractor. Now the Queens are attacking, and bye-bye Banshee.
That Banshee does go down, and meanwhile he is killing some tumors with these scans. He has to make sure he does not get fungled or get surrounded by those Zerlings, though he cannot afford to lose this army. Really fast Hive coming out here for Golden, and I'm liking the pacing of Golden's upgrades, the way he's getting his tech, he's getting his Spire now. He's playing this one step at a time very carefully. It's like he's climbing up a ladder right now.
And Keen kind of missed his timings for his upgrades. He built the armory, but not fast enough, so he's losing a lot of time before he can start +2/+2. And this is definitely an issue at this point.
Indeed, one Infestor is trying to sneak by here, and will actually not only get some scouting information, but likely will kill some SCVs if undetected.
I like this Viking. Sending out one Viking is just such a smart decision. There are a few Terran players who will use a Viking to chase down Overlords, but a lot of Terran players are neglecting this option, and especially with the Overlord spread that we see for Gold, this makes a lot of sense and will definitely put a bit of a problem to Gold. But he's already at max 200 supply and he's rebuilding them, but still nice, still pretty nice.
Yeah, very true. There's an Infestor in the main base. That actually happened. He's going to likely fungal these SCVs after he's gotten a huge scout of his opponent. The army supply right now 90-62 in Keen's favor. He's going to have to get some good fungals to hold on here. He does have the Spire tech up. Will he actually go Greater Spire right now? I mean, he has the resources to do it, but is it the moment? He's going to go for it.
He's going straight for the Greater Spire. He has the Zerglings, he has the upgrades, and of course also the Infestors. Bailing Nest is coming up, and what he is looking for at this point is also, of course, to get additional upgrades with the Hive. He can. He's on 2-2 now, but he does not start the third.
Oh my god!
Wow!
And meanwhile, on the main base, he has cleaned up a few SCVs. Look at that. Carnage.
All these Marines.
That's what he needed, man. That's going to be enough for him to get his Greater Spire up. Absolutely. He has so many Zerglings out on the map right now. In total, 128. 2-2 upgrades on those Lings. More harassment with these Infestors going on.
Wolf, he's dominating here.
He is dominating. He's making Keen look like a fool, in fact, at this point. Keen is trying to do what he can, but Golden is prepared at every turn.
Yeah, Keen has to be so careful now. He has a small force at the bottom right of the map, but he has to be very, very careful. Finally, this Infestor is actually not being... he's not taking down the Infestor. It's still alive. And the Greater Spire, it is nearly done.
Look at the mini-map. You see all those dots? Those are not Overlords. Those are burrowed, not Banelings even, but burrowed Zerglings. He's actually done something that no one has ever done before, and evenly spread Zerglings across the map and burrowed them for vision. He literally can see every piece of the map. Every single piece of it is under his view just by these burrowed Zerglings.
The thought at the bottom right, we now have the forces of Keen attacking. The hatch was cancelled, but the Lings are in position, and well, Golden is getting a really scary force. Both of them are maxed out at 200 supply, but the bank for Gold is amazing. He has 1,500 minerals still, even though he just now started +3 attack. He started the arm upgrades for his air units. He's getting everything. 12 spine crawlers are being built. Look how he protects his Greater Spire. This is actually insane. He knows fully well that this might be one of the targets of Keen for the drop play of our Charon player, and he places 4 spike crawlers around them.
And 2 spore crawlers. He's actually so defensive here. I feel like the way Golden is playing this ZVT right now is like how Protoss play PvZ.
Yeah.
He's turtling on 3 bases, getting that high-tech army. Look at that. That Greater Spire will not be targeted.
And we thought that Lucky was a Zerg that likes to be defensive against Terran with his spike crawlers and spore crawlers, but look at Golden.
This is just, I mean, Keen is positioned so perfectly well here, though, Kaldor.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get the right fungals, he's basically taking a bit of a gamble just sticking on this low economy right now. Low economy, high tech, and if he loses his army once, he will not be able to replace it.
This is definitely an issue, especially since Keen was able to kill the fort over and over again. Well, not kill it, but at least force the cancel.
Right.
We have a lot of Broodlords now, though, and they do some damage, and there are the Infestors to back them up. The fungal side, he does not have any Bailings just yet, but the Zerglings do a good amount of damage.
Oh, some miss micro here by Golden. He does take out the siege tank there. I like how he's trying to position himself here, but again, he cannot afford to lose these units. Keen is engaging really cost efficiently right now, and he's only got a small chunk of units over there, so even if Golden catches it, it's not going to be too big of a problem for him.
And Keen has the 4th base, he has the planetary fortress that he needs, and is starting with the first ghosts now.
Yeah, he's got 1 ghost out, a second one is on the way. Those are going to be, of course, mainly for the EMPs. He can use snipe later on, but that's not going to be his primary concern. Another tank pickoff here by Golden. I like how he's using the small group of Broodlords just to target down siege tanks, try to bait the Marines out.
They don't have enough Broodlords just yet. He's morphing new
scary.
ones. Another force is trying to get in here to take down the Broodlords. One of them might die, but no, the Transfuse saves the Broodlords, and now beautiful bundles here. But he does not commit with the Zerglings. He's just trying to fall back slowly but steadily in order to attack with the Broodlords and keep the rest of these units out of harm's way.
The problem, though, is he's only just now taking a 4th base. You can trade with a Terran over and over again, but if he has a better economy than you, he doesn't really care. And nice control on the Broodlords, I have to say. He's been able to keep them alive so well. But eventually, he is going to run out of money here. He's taken that 4th hatchery in the middle of the map now, but that's so exploitable by Keen.
He's throwing him back now, but he was really reluctant to engage into the siege tank line, but I feel he could have been a little bit more aggressive. At some point, he just had the force, and he was taking down a few of these Marines, and this was, in my opinion, the cue that he should have used in order to attack, even though there were a few tanks on high ground as well.
Yeah.
With those upgrades that he had on the Zerglings,
you may be right, man, and at this point, I feel like Golden is getting away with a lot here because he's kept his Broodlord count low. Keen has not made Vikings, but the Broodlord count is steadily increasing, and now Keen is forced to make Vikings, making 2 Vikings at a time. It'll be his first 2
and look at the
coming out
4
here.
count. He has 2 already and is building 3 at a time.
Yeah, 3 at a time indeed, but this push has been moved back, and now finally Golden's mining from that center base. He can actually retake the base down at the bottom as well. He needs both of these bases up because Keen already has a 4th base attempting to get a 5th one right now. I still cannot stress enough the great map control, or map vision, I should say, from Golden right now with all of his Brood Zerlings across the map.
Golden had his timing when he was definitely in the upgrade lead and he did not engage. He was waiting for his Broodlords. He was really, really banking his hopes on the Broodlord composition, but now Keen was able to kind of take control of the game again. He has a huge bank, he has 4 bases, he's getting a 5th at this point, so he's in a great position. Golden is definitely not out of the picture yet, but still he has to be very, very careful how he's going to engage the next battle.
Yeah, he cannot afford to lose this group of units, at least not yet, not until he has another fully mining gas base up, which he does not. He's still not remaking the hatchery at the south. And there's a huge group of Overlords going around the right side, perhaps for a fake drop that may draw Keen back.
It kind of looks like he's going for a fake drop, and now Keen is moving out at this point, and those Thors are going to do a lot of damage, especially in combination with the Vikings.
Yeah, he's taking out Broodlords that are morphing, not even a cancel there. Remember, these Thors do have +2 weapons, not very common to see at this stage of the game.
This is going to be so difficult, not a lot of Vikings. And here comes Golden actually engaging, trying to attack Keen with his army. We have the first few corruption spells and of course also the bundles. But this is very difficult, especially as the Broodlord count is getting lower and lower.
It's getting lower. There's no infestors, man. Those bundles were not very good. They hit the majority of the Thors and Medivacs, but not actually the Marines. The split was really good for Keen, and now he's tearing through the center. And like I said, he can't really replace his units. He's making 2 Corruptors and 5 Broodlords, but those are not going to be done in time. He's actually just going to avoid them.
He needs these Broodlords now. He does not have enough, but will Keen attack them? There are a ton of Spinecrawlers, and now they pay off. He was building so many of them, and finally a few infestors. Where's the bundle?
So close. He has to cancel the Broodlords, but he does kill the majority of those Marines, and the supply very similar. And one big oversight I feel from Keen is not scouting that center base. He could have killed that. That's the core. That's the lifeline of Golden right now. If he finds it and kills it, Golden's gonna die.
At this point, these Spinecrawlers really paid off, and will the Broodlords finally be done in time? He's starting to attack with the Zerglings, taking down the siege tanks.
Yes, this is so crazy. He's desperately trying to get these Broodlords out.
Golden is in the supply lead at this point. He is in the supply lead. The Zerglings are running in. The Broodlords joining the battle finally, and now all these Thors are going to die.
They are all going to die. They're very expensive, but the Marines come in to support. I don't think it'll matter either. If he gets a few good hits here with these infestors, they don't have enough energy yet.
He's using the Infested Swarm Eggs at the Broodlords, and Keen, he's dropping in supply.
Yeah, he's forced back.
He still has the bases, and this is really... Keen really did not scout the center base.
Yeah, he's overextending himself. He doesn't scout the center base. I feel like he's like, wow, you have no base at the 6 o'clock? I guess all I have to do is keep attacking, you'll run out of money, but that's not the case here. Nice splitting, very nice splitting in fact. He's going to try to target down some of these infestors, but it does not work out for him. Right now, Golden is taking a huge lead. Keen has misread the situation. He needs to scout that center base. He has no idea about it, and without scouting that base, he's not going to be able to end this game.
And now we have Keen on 113 against 156, and this Broodlord composition at this point without Vikings is very, very hard to beat. And Keen has to be careful. What you usually need as a Terran player to beat this is you have to have the right amount of Vikings. You have to have a few Thors that you can attack the Corruptors with the splash damage. That is very, very important, and you need to try to avoid the infestors of your opponent. So now Golden, after struggling for a bit and after he looked really like he would lose the game, but saved by the Spinecrawlers, Golden now in a huge supply lead and once again on the offensive while taking another base.
Yeah, he's ahead in army supply as well at 100 to 77. That's really important because, you know, if you just look at the supplies, it's like, well, Keen could have a really strong army, but in fact, Golden's army is stronger. 45 workers to 70.
Yeah, exactly. The harvester count, 70 against 45. This is really huge. And this is going to be very difficult for Keen. And I was so worried for Golden when Keen just moved in, and then all these Spinecrawlers that Golden... Well, he built them when he was going for the Greater Spire tech, and they kind of saved him here.
Yeah. Okay, finally he finds this base. He's going to kill some drones here, but he's going to be like, oh my god, how long has this been? He's going to click on those mineral patches. He's going to freak out, and now it may be too late. He can't kill that base very easily now. The creep spread is through the center. It's past the watchtower.
Look at the infestor count. 12.
12 infestors. He has built the Zerg Death Ball. Like I said, I feel like he's playing this like a PvZ with how he's playing his Zerg. He's just very defensive. He gets a strong maxed out Death Ball. He uses that to control the game. He's not actually trying to do small little counterattacks. He's not trying to catch the Terran opponent unsieged. He's just creating the Zerg Death Ball.
He did not do any damage in the early game with his Banshee and of course the Hellions, but still it looked like he was just gearing up for this 4-base army, and he didn't slip in his macro. His upgrades were a bit late, but he started with the 4th base immediately. He pushed out with his army, he did a lot of damage to Golden, but now slowly and steadily Golden is starting to completely dominate this game.
Yeah, his knowledge of the ratio of unit composition, his map awareness, and a little bit of luck with that center base have definitely put him way ahead in this game. And it looks like we are going to have... Oh my god, I've never seen a fungal so disgusting.
That was actually the best fungal ever.
I have never seen a fungal that good.
Oh my god!
Oh, disgusting. Oh, that's awful.
That's 12 infestors for you guys.
That indeed is 12 infestors. Ton of infested Terrans being dropped here, and Keen, speaking of dropping, is dropping in supply like mad at this point.
Oh god, that was the best engagement ever for Golden. It couldn't have gone any better than
I
this.
couldn't agree more, and it looks like Keen is going to fall apart here at the end of this first game. Golden, with his first GSL appearance, takes him out. GG indeed.
Golden with the win on game 1, and wow, look at him.
Giving some Zerg players hope in a time where Zerg is not doing as well right now. Oh man.
He's pretty happy.
You know, I have to continue to stress, though, he was a little bit lucky with that center base. If Keen had just found it and stimmed like 12 Marines up there, it would have died.
You are so right about this. Keen attacked into the spine crawlers. He tried to end the game, and he did never scout for this base, even though there was creep spread everywhere. And you are so right. If he would have just sent a Marine over and tried to scout the base, if he would have found it, there was nothing to defend it. He didn't have spine crawlers, there were no spore crawlers. So if this base would have died, then suddenly the economy of Golden would have been basically non-existent.
Exactly. I mean, basically he overextended himself. I looked at his vision, and he just had units streaming across the map. I think he was thinking, wow, you don't have that 6 o'clock? I guess you're out of money. All you have to do is kill your army one time. But that wasn't the case. The army was not only replenishable, but it was also engaging so cost efficiently against King. King was like, oh no.
Look at the next map that we have.
It's
I'm a
Atlanta
bit surprised, to tell you the truth, because Atlanta Spaceship is a very large map. It's a 2-player map, but the push distance is just so huge. And I haven't casted too many ZVTs on this map, but just the way how I would approach this map, I don't really think that it's a great map for Terran against Zerg.
Right. Well, actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that in the new format of Code A that they started this year, the losers don't pick in Code A. It's only Code S, so they don't have a choice, as far as I know.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. Sorry.
It's fine.
I'm kind of in this mindset with all the tournaments that we casted lately. We're always the loser picks, because this map pick wouldn't have made any sense in my opinion.
I completely agree, and that's again why I'm pretty sure that there's no loser pick in Code A, at least not yet. That may be something that's implemented later. But Keen, he's got to win this game, or Golden is going to take him out in what some would consider to be an upset. But like I said, there's a huge cult following for Golden in the foreign scene that may become more than a cult soon. There's a huge following for this guy in Korea as well, and those guys are definitely saying this isn't an upset. They're the 25% who said, you know what, he's going to take Keen out here.
And we are heading into the next game. Golden, Keen, Terran versus Zerg. GSL Code A with color.